Exorcist Believer. Alright, so this movie centers around these two families, and both families have daughters. They go to the same school and they're best friends. Sounds normal, right? Until they get involved in some paranormal shenanigans. Now, things take a turn for the worse when they both go missing. As a parent, I cannot imagine a worse nightmare than not knowing where your kid is. Like all reviews on my channel, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, and I'm going to be intentionally vague in some parts, but that's just because I don't want to ruin the movie for you. So, they experience a parent's worst nightmare, followed by what I can only imagine is a parent's greatest relief when they come home. Everyone is so happy to see them. The community who rallied behind the two families is overjoyed, welcomes them back with both arms, open arms. But something is different. Something came back with them. Something nefarious. Something evil that doesn't want to let them go. This movie is getting absolutely killed on Rotten Tomatoes and on Metacritic. So going into it, my expectations were already pretty low. But this movie kept me interested from beginning to end. Full disclaimer, I'm a person who I suffer from extreme empathy. It's very easy for me to put myself in other people's shoes, especially in movies, and feel what they're feeling. So it was very easy for me to connect to one of the main characters, played by Leslie Odom Jr. He plays the father of, I believe the girl's name is Alicia. And he did a really, really good job, in my opinion. I'm not an actor. I'm not a professional. I'm not an acting coach. I'm just going by what I see and what I feel. And I feel like he did a very good job portraying a father, a concerned father. It wasn't over the top. There were so many parts where I could relate to it, right? Because I have a son, and there is some, sometimes in life there are things going on where inside you're kind of freaking out, but you put on a brave face for your child. You put on a brave face, or you pretend like, oh, this is okay. But inside you're like, oh, what the... But you're doing it for them. You want to keep them calm so they don't freak out. And there were several parts in the movie where this happened, and I was like, we've all been there. There seems to have been a emphasis put on having practical effects, because a lot of what was happening was actually happening on the screen, and 10 times out of 10, I prefer that over CGI. I think all of us, when watching a movie, we can kind of tell when the actor is not reacting to something that's actually happening in front of them. There's a difference. And unless I was completely bamboozled, it seems like most of the movie was actually practical. There were some parts that were CGI, but it was well done, and it didn't take you out of the movie. One of the criticisms that I heard online so far has been that they spent too much time during the first act establishing the relationship between Odom's character Victor and his daughter Angela. I don't think that was the case. I feel like their relationship, their love, was a central part of this movie, and they got the screen time it deserved. I saw this movie at a 10:30 showing at our local AMC, and here's a quick PSA. Once the movie starts, shut up. Again, once the movie starts, shut up. Nobody came there to hear you have your conversation. Nobody paid money. Nobody came out of their house, got in their car, paid for the Uber, got the popcorn, sat down to hear you talk with your buddy or your girlfriend next to you. Shut up. If you are going to speak, sometimes I say stuff to my kid. Hey, I whisper. So only to nobody around us can hear. You know what I mean? I think that's basic human decency. And there were so many people in that theater talking. Now, is this movie a masterpiece? No. There were about 2 parts that I noticed where there was some sloppy editing, where it just kind of looked jumpy, or it seemed like there was a frame maybe missing. It just seemed sloppy. About 2 parts. 2 parts. That's it. And what else? Some of the logic behind the decisions that these characters make is questionable, but overall kept me interested from the beginning to the end. I wouldn't say it's scary as much as it's creepy. Also, something happens in the end of the movie where if you saw the first one, you're going to have yourself a little moment. Oh, again, I'm not going to ruin that for you. I'm going to give this movie a solid 3.5 stars out of 5. All right. I was interested in the story and the characters. Usually when I watch a movie about 40 minutes into it, I start getting that itch where I want to pull out my phone. Let me see what's going on. Maybe I got a text, or I get this feeling. Even though I'm enjoying this, I would kind of rather be somewhere else. Like, it would be more comfortable to be at home watching this. But that didn't happen during this movie. I enjoyed it. Despite all of that, I probably wouldn't watch it again. My favorite part of the movie was during there was a quiet scene in the movie. You know what I mean? It's a quiet scene. And I start hearing a noise. To my right. And I turn to see that my son is sleeping. He's sleeping. He says he wasn't. He says he was resting his eyes. Well, that dude was sleeping. I looked at him. I'm like, this? It was hilarious. Hilarious. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen all year. Shout outs to my boy. I love you, Damien. If you made it this far in the video, thank you very much. My next review is going to be on Five Nights at Freddy's, and that comes out on the 27th of October. Thank you very much, and I'll see you at the movies. Peace.